At ayun na nga, nasa example 3 na tayo mga kaibigan, mga mathematician yan. So, ito ay hindi nakasulat sa standard form. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan natin gawin yon. Isulat ang equation in standard form. Paano? We have to get the product of this monomial and binomial. So, distribute lang. 3 times 3x is 9x squared. Tapos 3x times negative 4 is negative 12x. And then copy lang yung plus 1, equal sign, and 0. O, tapos na ba? Oo, tapos na yan. Kasi nakasulat naman yan in descending powers. We have the quadratic term, the linear term, and the constant term. So, madali na lang ngayon identify yung value ng A, B, at C. Ano ang A? 9. Ano naman ang B? Negative 12. Ano ang C? Positive 1. Step 2 na tayo agad. At yan po ay ang pagkuha or pag-compute ng value ng discriminant B squared minus 4AC. So this is equal to the square of negative 12 decreased by the product of 4, 9, and 1. So what is square of negative 12? That is 144. Minus 4 times 9 is 36 times 1, 36. 144 minus 36, yan ay 108. Uy, ang 108, positive siya, pero hindi yan perfect square. Ibig sabihin, we're going to expect na yung sa step 3, yung unang gagawin dyan, pagkuha ng square root ng discriminant, we will have to simplify a radical. So, what is the square root of 108? Yan, square root of 108. So, paano mag-simplify ng radical? Tingnan ang radicand. Isipin kung meron siyang perfect square factor bukod sa 1. At kung meron, ano yung pinakamalaki sa mga yon? Sa 108, ano ba? 36, right? 36 times 3 gives a product of 108. So, this can be rewritten as the square root of the product of 36 and 3. Ang square root ng 36 ay 6. Therefore, yung 3, maiiwan siya, kawawa naman, sa loob ng radical sign. So, 6 square root of 3, ang simplest form ng square root of 108. Ano ang next natin gagawin sa step 3? Pagkuha ng value ng negative of b at ng 2a. Ano ang negative of b? This is negative of negative 12. So, reverse lang yung signs. Magiging positive 12. Para sa 2a naman, this is going to be, mukha namang itong a, no? So, 9 yan. 2 times 9. That's going to be 18. So, meaning these, this, and this are all needed sa step 4. Magpa-plug in na lang na tayo. Ibahin ko yung kulay. So, we have x equals, again, mahatong fraction bar, plus or minus sign, tapos in, before and after, ano yung mga numbers dyan. Tapos, sa baba din. So, what will we put here sa first box? Yung value ng negative b. So, 12 yan. Plus or minus, yung square root ng discriminant, which is simplified as 6 square root of 3. At sa baba ay yung value ng 2a, which is 18. Now, to simplify this, tingnan lang natin muna ang 12, 6, and 18, the numerical coefficients. Can they be divided by a common number bukod sa 1? 12, 6, and 18, they are all divisible by 6. So, 12 divided by 6, magiging 2 yan. 6 divided by 6, magiging 1. Tapos 18 divided by 6, magiging 3. So, we have x equals 2 plus or minus. Magiging 1 na lang yon. 1 here is a coefficient of the square root of 3. So, kahit hindi na isulat yung 1. So, square root of 3 na lang agad. Pwede naman. All over 3. Kailangan pa ba natin i-split itong equation into 2? Kahit hindi na kasi ginagawa lang natin pag-split ng equation into 2 if we can further simplify or get the value of x without using calculator. As a part na to, may radical part tayo dito. Can we get the value of 2 plus square root of 3 without using calculator? Hindi. So, ibig sabihin, wala na. Finish na. Okay? Ito na po yung magiging sagot natin sa last step. This already shows that the two roots are 2 plus square root of 3 all over 3 and 2 minus square root of 3 all over 3. So, both of which are irrational numbers kasi nga may radical part. Okay? Let's have the other or the next example. Blanco to. Burahin na lang natin. Okay. we have, 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. Nakasulat na sa standard form. Salamat naman. Okay, so let's go to step 1 na. What is the value of A? 4. Value of B, negative 4. Value of C, 1. Okay, ano ang ating step 2? Get the value of the discriminant, B squared minus 4AC. So this becomes square of negative 4 decreased by the product of 4, 4, and 1. Square of negative 4 is 16 minus the product of 4, 4, and 1, 16. So 16 minus 16, 0 lang yan. Ibig sabihin, mas madali ang buhay natin ngayon kasi sa step 3, we'll just get the value of the square root of the discriminant b squared minus 4ac, which happens to be 0 lang. So square root of 0 is 0. Pero ano ang value ng negative of b? That's going to be positive 4. Ang sa 2a, 2 times 4, ibig sabihin, 8. So mag-plug in na tayo agad. So step 4 yon. So we have x equals, mahabang fraction bar, first box, plus or minus sign, another box, and then pangatlo. So what do we put in the first box? Yung negative of b natin, which is 4. Tapos yung second box natin, para yan yung sa 0. Square root of the discriminant. And then dito sa baba, yung 8. Okay, ayan. So 4 plus or minus 0 all over 8. So technically, there are 2 roots for any quadratic equation. Tama? 2 roots. But those 2 roots can be equal. And this is an example of that situation. In here kasi, yung 4 plus 0 at saka 4 minus 0 will both produce 4. Tapos i-divide by 8, magiging 1/2 lang yun. Tama? O pakita ko muna, no? So, para malinaw. So, there are 2 roots for this equation pa din. So, you have yung x sub 1 na 4 plus 0 all over 8. Tapos yung x sub 2 na 4 minus 0 all over 8. Kaya nga lang, yung 4 plus 0 at 4 minus 0 will both yield 4. Tapos over 8. Dito din 4 over 8. And 4 over 8 and 4 8 are equal, tama? And they can be simplified as 1/2. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, the 2 roots of this equation are equal. So, ituloy natin dito. So, plus or minus 0, ibig sabihin yung 0 na yan pwedeng i-cancel and even actually yung plus or minus sign. So, matitira, x equals 4 over 8, which can be simplified as 1/2. Ibig lang sabihin nito, there is one distinct solution for this quadratic equation. Pero the other way of saying that is, this quadratic equation has 2 solutions that are equal. And those 2 are 1/2. Okay? Parehong 1/2. Okay? Next na tayo. Meron pa naman tayong mga 7 minutes. Let's have example number 5. Yan. So, hindi pa ito naka-standard form. So, gawin natin isulat sa standard form. So, this becomes 2 times 3x squared is 6x squared. 2 times positive 1 is positive 2. Itong 4x, pwede naman itong agad i-transpose. So, magiging negative 4x siya. Tapos, equals 0 na lang. So, ang ating next na gagawin na lang yan is to rearrange this. So, magiging 6x squared minus 4x plus 2 equals 0. O, tapos, naka-standard form naman na yan, step 1 na tayo. Value ng A ay 6, value ng B ay negative 4, at ang value ng C ay 2. At ano ang step 2? Value ng discriminant B squared minus 4AC. This will be equal to square of negative 4 decreased by the product of 4, 6, and 2. And this is going to be square of negative 4 is 16, tapos minus sign. 4 times 6 is 24, times 2, 48. Tama ba? Yes, 48. And 16 minus 48, ito ay case ng pag-subtract ng small number sa malaki. So, ibig sabihin, magiging negative yan. Negative ano? Negative 32. Ayan. So, sa step 3, we have to get the square root of the discriminant. And what is the value of the discriminant? Obtained in step 2, negative 32. So, anong square root ng negative 32? Okay. So, ngayon pa lang siguro, meron na kayong idea na ang magiging ang klaseng number nito ay imaginary. So, magkakaroon tayo ng imaginary unit I dyan. Kasi, ang gagawin natin, we will factor out negative 1. So, negative 1 times 32 ang nasa loob ngayon ng radical sign. So, we express negative 32 as a product of negative 1 and its absolute value, which is 32. And take note, ang square root ng negative 1 is the imaginary unit I. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay pwedeng i-simplify na as I, the square root of 32. Eh, tapos na po ba yan siya dyan? Hindi pa. Kasi, yung 32, yung square root of 32, pwede pa yung masimplify. Kasi, 32 has a perfect square factor bukod sa 1. And the largest of which is 16. So, this can be rewritten as I, the square root of the product of 16 and 2. Anong square root ng 16? 4. And ang 4 na yan, i-multiply sa I. So, magiging 4I ang nasa labas. Tapos, nasa loob ng radical sign yung 2. Therefore, 4I square root of 2 ang simplest form ng square root of negative 32. So, ano ang value ngayon ng negative of b at saka ng 2a sa pagpapatuloy natin for step 3? Negative of b is negative of negative 4, so positive 4. 2a is 2 times 6, that is 12. And then plug in tayo for step 5. So, we have x equals negative of b, so 4. Plus or minus the square root of the discriminant, which is 4i square root of 2, all over 2a, which is 12. At ayan, bilugan ko na agad yung 4, 4, at saka 12. Siyempre, yung mga real number coefficients ng ating titingnan. 4, 4, and 12 are all divisible by 4. So, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1 nga. Tapos 12 divided by 4 is 3. So, magiging 1 plus or minus 1i lang yun. So, 1 times I is just I. And then, square root of 2 all over 3. And, hindi na natin ito kailangan split into 2 equations kasi nga, meron na tayong, hindi lang radical, actually, imaginary part ito. So, we end here. This already shows that the two different roots of the equation here are 1 plus I square root of 2 all over 3 and 1 minus I square root of 2 all over 3. So, hanggang dyan na lang dito siguro. Hanggang dito na lang siguro aking pagdidiscuss. I hope yung 5 examples na aking naibigay ay maging enough na para magkaroon kayo ng dagdag na reference in helping you master the process of using quadratic formula. Nangangabulo na tayo mga kaibigan. So, bye for now. See you in the next one.